This is MJ. I happen to love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's definitely my favorite comic book character of all time. I had a lot of fun reading Spider-Man comics back in the day, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. Loved Spider-Girl. I came into a weird place where I think Joe Quesada was taking over, and at that time, there was the relaunch of Spider-Man, which I think was in 99. It had a yellow cover. It showed everyone's heads. There was a reboot of his origin, soft reboot, that included Doc Ock at the same time. Like Doc Ock and Peter getting their powers at the same time in the same accident. I guess the spider was irradiated by the orb sun power thing that Doc Ock was working on, kind of like in Spider-Man 2, the Raimi one, the good one. Sorry. I'm really into the Raimi movies, and I definitely think they're the best, besides Spider-Verse, which, by the way, the reason I'm talking about, or mentioning Spider-Verse, is because really watching Spider-Verse reminded me of how much I love Spider-Man. It's probably the truest Spider-Man thing to come out in a long time. I don't have a PS3 or 4 or whatever, so I didn't... Do I have a 3? I don't know, whatever. I didn't play the new... I'm not a big gamer, so I did not play the new Spider-Man, which I hear people say is amazing. I'm going to be up front. I don't like the MCU Spider-Man very much. Like, it's just okay, but it doesn't feel like real Spider-Man to me. And anyway, I was so charmed and enamored by Spider-Verse that it made me think about going back to the comics. And I have kind of a love-hate relationship with comics. I love manga, Japanese comics. I love the finality of it, that stories are more self-contained, that they're told, One Piece and stuff like that, it's gone on for 20 years. It's still one continuous story, and as far as I know, they're not rebooting and having all these crises and stuff like that, and that stuff really bothers me, because I kind of want to pick up a story and read it and have it having a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I've come to grips with the fact that Western comics don't have that, but a couple things. I've been lurking in the comic YouTube world, and I've really familiarized myself with the fact that comics have runs. And my other big thing is Star Wars, as far as Western stuff, and that has comics, is Star Wars. And for a long time, Star Wars comics and Star Wars books all tried to work with the movies, something that Marvel doesn't do, and all tried to tell one overarching story, overall. And that's not what superhero comics do, and that bothers me. That hurts me deep in my soul, because I love Peter Parker. I love Spider-Man. He's an inspiration to me. Probably the greatest hero I've ever encountered in anything. And I want one story. And if they're gonna reboot, I'd rather it be like a Miles Morales type situation where Peter Parker dies and someone else takes up the mantle of Spider-Man. Just like I like the idea of Cap in the comics, which I don't know that he ever really does put down his shield, but it looks like in the movies and stuff, he's gonna retire, because Steve Rogers is, an old man now in, the modern MCU, and then, someone else is gonna pick it up. Whether that's Falcon or Bucky, it doesn't really matter to me. But I like the idea of that mantle passing on, and that history and that legacy, and that being a serious thing, and death being treated seriously, and all those things. So for all those reasons, I've been avoiding comics for a long time. I tried, a buddy of mine about 9 years ago kind of got me back into it, and I was all excited about Batman's death, and I actually bought a bunch of DC comics. I like the DC CW shows, basically. For the most part, I like them. I like the DC animated stuff, at least back from when I was a kid. Batman Beyond was amazing. Batman the Animated Series was great. Superman was okay. I've never really liked Superman. I can't get into him. I don't know why, but I can't. But I love the Marvel movies. Well, not all the Marvel. I love the Spider-Man, Blade, X-Men. Those were cool back in the day. The Spider-Man Raimi ones still hold up. I don't know about the others. And then I enjoyed a lot of the MCU, but I kind of wanted to get back to it because I saw Spider-Verse. And I thought it was going to be like a dumb cash grab because it's Sony, I thought it was going to be this dumb cash grab. But when it was done so well, the whole multiverse aspect of it made me think about the fact that, what? I'm the arbiter of this stuff. I get to choose what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. And if I want to ignore the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies exist and only watch the Raimi movies, like I can do that. And also, I can go into the comics and I can pick out different eras, because I also, back in the day, when I was into comics, I had an actual subscription where they would come to my house. I was subscribed to Spider-Girl, which was part of the Marvel Universe 2, where they wanted to do this offshoot, which is different from the Ultimate Universe. And They had like everything set like 20 or 30 years into the future of current day comics, and there was like a new Avengers team. What else was there? I think there was a Fantastic Five book. I don't remember what else. Like a Daredevil spin-off sort of thing, with the ghost of the Daredevil or something. And there was Spider-Girl, and I loved Spider-Girl. It was so cool. I was really into that. So anyway, stuff like that, like, to me, that felt good. It felt so nice that Spider-Man, Peter Parker got to live out his life. There was tragedy, there was a lot of loss, there was a lot of pain, but he got a happy ending, and he got to live his life. And then he had his daughter, and she got these powers too. And then I read probably like maybe 20 issues deep, and then I don't know if I ran out of money or lost a subscription, or I was like flunking school and stuff, so my parents probably punished me and said like no more, which whatever, it's in the past. But anyway, that's probably what happened to that, and I never picked up on that. But like, I want to go back and revisit that, and that's something I'd like to get to eventually with this channel. But I decided what I want to do, and I've been mulling this over for months. What I want to do is, now that I have the Marvel Unlimited app, I want to go through and I want to read all of Spider-Man, basically. But as I was thinking about doing that, I decided I'm not only going to talk about Spider-Man, I want to see, like, in the year of all these different things coming out. Because, like, the Avengers are from 63, and the Fantastic Four, I think, started in 62, which was the same year Spider-Man started. And like Human Torch is from, I think, Timely Comics, because Marvel was Atlas Comics before it was Marvel, and before it was Atlas Comics it was Timely Comics. And I think Timely Comics published the Submariner in Amazing, I can't remember what the other imprint was, but, or what the title of the anthology book was, but there was a Human Torch, there was Namor, and there was Doctor Strange, Master of Black Magic, or whatever they called him originally. Those guys were like the first Marvel type superheroes, I would say, and then they got pulled back into the Marvel universe when Marvel finally became Marvel in, what's, again, I think 62, maybe it was 61, I can't remember. But like, I kind of want to go through all the history of Marvel Comics, and not as like I'm going to read the new comics story. I don't care about that. I want to read it and enjoy it, and like, if those books were that good back then that they made this lasting legacy, I want to experience all those books myself and read through them, review them. And that's what I want to do with this channel. Now I'm going to start it with a review series of Spider-Man Life Story, because that has been amazing. This is just a couple days before issue 6 comes out. So I'm going to start reviewing those today, get the 5 up and out and published. I don't know if I'll publish 5 and 6 on Wednesday, or if I'll publish 5 on Wednesday and then 6 on Thursday after I've gone to the comic shop after work, gotten the book, read it, reviewed it. Or what. But anyway, that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to start Spider-Man Life Story, and then I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, because again, like I said, I like that idea of legacy and like a complete story told from beginning to end. And yeah, Spider-Man Life Story skips a bunch of, it covers epochs of Spider-Man's life, but the way it does it is so effective and so moving and so good. It's such high quality storytelling that I'm really into it. And I feel like once you have issues 1 through 6, if they don't do a bonus 7th issue, that'll all tell a single story of this particular Peter Parker's life, and I'm excited about that. And I want to go back to the 616, supposedly Peter Parker, who started back in 62, and read all his stories, and like I said, get the context of the Fantastic Four going on, the Avengers going on. Hulk had his own title at that time, maybe Thor did too, I don't know, and I will find that out and kind of go through incrementally and review those all over the course of time. And as I'm doing this channel, and hopefully I can turn this into something, but regardless, I'm going to do it because it's something fun and something I want to do for myself. And if you want to, you can join me as I am swinging through comics. This is MJ signing off. MJMunoz.com is home for all my work, podcasts and reviews of anime, tokusatsu, Star Wars, and more, plus my original writings. If you didn't enjoy this, critique me. If you did, leave me a comment. If you really like this, consider tipping me at coffee.com/MJMunoz. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, be well.